I think that keeping DJs on staff is the most important part about growing a multi-op. Obviously, you got to find them. Obviously, you got to train them. I'm assuming you're doing that. But if you are losing talent and they are either not motivated or going to work for the competition, you would have been better off not finding anybody. Okay, so I think this topic is so important that I actually dedicated the whole second half of my book to it. That's how important I think this topic is. There are so many other advice and tips and things that I can give you. That's the whole second half of the book is dedicated to keeping your staff motivated and everything else. A big part of that is to stay humble. How many people know what a Roman triumph was back in the day? Rome kicked a lot of ass. Rome, they sent their army out everywhere and conquered lands constantly. And when they came back from that, they would have what they called a triumph, which is where the army would come in and they would march down, the main boulevard in Rome, and people would cheer, and they were basically bringing all the booty, all the spoil from the war. They were bringing slaves back. They were bringing all the gold that they conquered. And the general would ride in on the chariot. He was like he had led this war and he had conquered this land. And when he was on that chariot, the Romans would have a guy with him on that chariot, whispering in his ear, "Remember, you are mortal. You are human. You will die someday." And the reason they did that is because they knew that's a moment where that general could get pretty, puffed up. Look, I conquered the Greeks. I conquered the Spaniards. You know what I mean? I'm bringing and maybe he might then think that he should be emperor. And so they wanted this guy to be a little bit humble, okay? We have the same type of moments, right? When you pack a dance floor on a Saturday night and people are chanting your name, we've all been in that position, right? Brides are coming up to you going, "You were the greatest, you made my wedding." Think about that. We probably hear that too often to really think about how significant that is. You made my wedding. This $50,000 event, this whatever event that this bride has thought about her whole life, and she says to you, "You made it," that can puff your ego up a little bit. That can make you be like, "Yeah, man, I'm all that," And my advice to you is just to do your best to just stay humble in those situations, because when you're the head of a company like that, if you think you're all that, people are going to be driven away from you. Jamie, I used this example last year. I thought you did such a great job in your seminar when you talked about testimonials and you showed one of your DJs, not your own. And I said to you afterwards, I said, that was a humble thing to do. And I don't know that I would have done it. If I was here talking to you guys about video testimonials, I'd probably show you one of mine. I'd probably go, "Hey, you guys all know me. You're listening to me. Let's hear a bride and groom." But Jamie showed one of his other DJs testimonials, and I just thought that there's a man that doesn't need this part of my talk because you already know how to stay humble. If you find yourself ever saying things like, "You can't ever find DJs who are loyal. No one is ever going to stay with a company for long," that type of thing, you need to understand that all the spokes go back to the middle. Okay, and you are in many instances the common denominator.